What's good? What's poppin'? It's Stacey K, back with another video.
And so today I'm going to be talking about growing up as a black girl. Yeah, so if you're of an ethnic minority, like if you're of an ethnic background, you've experienced this before. Like there's a high percentage that you've experienced this before, and that's racism. But always like, oh, racism is no longer alive, blah 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 blah. Why you talk about racism? Racism is a thing of the past. But that's not true. Literally take the coronavirus and what's happening to black people in China as an example, and you can take what's happening to black people in America with police brutality as an example. So racism is still alive. It may not be like as outwardly spoken, like you won't get someone maybe coming up to you and being like racist directly, so it may be more concealed, but trust me, it's still there, and it's still generational. Like young black kids are still viewing their dark skin as a problem. I'm also going to be speaking about the whole Nella Rose situation and Nella Rose being cancelled. Growing up in school, it was hard growing up as a black girl. In secondary school, children, they don't care. They'll tell you how it is. So me looking different from everyone there, it was like a bit, like the people who were, the hype didn't look like me. It was mostly the white girls who were getting asked out, were getting picked for this, picked for that, and it was like, oh,
is there something wrong with me?
No, brother, no.
I would always wish and look down upon myself, and I'd wish I looked like them just so I could feel accepted. I wanted to be like them. I wanted the popularity. I wanted to feel accomplished. Do you get what I mean? Because that was the biggest thing in my life. But then as you grow up, you start to realize that popularity is not that important. There's way more important things in life. But yeah, growing up, that was literally all that I thought, and I'd experienced racism growing up. So it was like on top of that, and on top, I'd say like it's even worse. It was even worse for you to be black and for you to be of African descent. Basically everyone who's black is of African descent, but for you to say that you like, it was easier for you to be black and Jamaican rather than black and African. And that I'm gonna cover that when I come to talking about Nella Rose. But yeah, so growing up, it was like, yeah, there was no Lydia Dinga, there was no Adiola Patron, there was no Shalom, there was no Lupita Nyong'o, none of those like black influencers like that I could see and look up to. So it was like, all I had was Zoella. The hype when I was growing up was Zoella. So it was like I would constantly compare myself to them, and I want to fit the European beauty standards, and I'd hate my Afrocentric features, blah 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 blah, which are now people are working so hard to come and get. And going through my secondary school, I never viewed myself as pretty. I never viewed myself as beautiful, just solely because I thought, because I'm a black girl, I can't be as pretty as them. I can't compete with them at all. And also when it comes to liking boys for a black girl, it's really hard because you have in the back of your mind, what if they don't like me because of the color of my skin? For my non-black viewers, or not even just non-black, of like an ethnic minority, just of a darker complexion, you have to think, what if they're not gonna like me? You like a guy, you're not thinking, what if they don't like me because of my personality? What if they don't like me because of this, that? What if they don't like me just because of the color of my skin? Something I was born with, something which shouldn't be having such negative connotations, which is so disgusting. And I find, even but like me right now, my skin tone, I've experienced racism and I've experienced like my own fair share of struggles, but I wouldn't say my experiences are as bad as someone who's of a darker skin tone than me. Dark skins go through it, oh my gosh. And it's not only because it's from outside of the community, it's from within the black community as well. because there's so like we've been brainwashed into thinking it's so bad to be of a dark complexion that it's like, oh, we look upon ourselves and we're like, oh no, darker, the lighter the better. And you would see that in secondary school, you would see that growing up, oh, I want a lighty, I want this, I want that, I want the nice curly hair, I want mixed race babies. If you're a white girl and you like black guys just because you want mixed race babies, honey, you need help.
What is wrong with you? Are you normal? Are you normal?
That's called a fetish, and that's not okay. Okay, babes, you need to rethink, reevaluate what you're actually liking them for, because that's not okay. But yeah, you'd always hear stuff like that, and it's so disgusting to hear, because it's like, you won't go for someone who's your own race just because they're darker than you. It's actually crazy. And to my black boys who are bringing down black girls, you're meant to be uplifting them. How can you come out of your mother's womb and start bashing people who look exactly like your mother? Exactly like your sisters, exactly like your aunties, your grandma, etc. What would your mother say?
Well, just as I thought, trash.
Like, I'd be heartbroken if my son were to grow up and start bashing women who have like brought him up. Yeah, I'd say like now it's way easier for black girls to like, because there's this whole movement of, you know, Black Lives Matter, black is beautiful, black uplifting black women, and you see way more influencers who are black and of ethnic background and of darker skin tones. I'm not saying like there's definitely not enough representation, but you see way more as there was when I was growing up. So it's way easier for girls now to, you know, have a good role model who looks like them, so they don't feel so discomforted and so disgusted by their own looks. Yeah, so growing up and experiencing all that racism, and you know, I honestly don't mind when people, because I go to a predominantly white school, I always pretty much have, I don't mind when people come and ask me, you know, questions about my culture, questions about, you know, me being black basically. But it's when they come to you with ignorance, and when they come to you with like a double meaning, like, you know, when they come to you and they're like trying to act like, oh sorry, I don't know this, oh I'm just being stupid basically, and then they come to you and it's like, I can see through you, I can see through the BS, why are you playing, I know that you're trying to be malicious. And that's when I will educate you and I will tell you what's up, because I'm not going to let you sit there and disrespect me, okay? That's when I will speak up for myself and I will educate you and tell you, you know, no, that's not right, okay? I'm not okay with that. And if they continue disrespecting me, you know what, it's hands on. If you just continue disrespecting someone once they've told you that what you're saying is uncomfortable, doesn't matter, especially if it's like stuff like the N-word pass. They're telling you they're uncomfortable with you, keep on asking them, or if they're telling you that's not a thing, that's not like a thing, it should end there. You shouldn't keep on pressing them, you shouldn't keep on asking them. It's not okay. I don't know what goes through your little mind for you to think that's okay. It's not. I feel like if the school's not gonna handle it, then we're gonna have to take it to Black Twitter at this point. So speaking of Black Twitter, if you are a Nella Rose fan, you would have probably seen the whole, you know, people wanting to cancel Nella because of some tweets that she made when she was younger, I think 12, 13. She basically there were some pretty awful tweets and pretty like disgusting towards, you know, black people, black community, etc. And I watched her, you know, video explaining everything, because before I watched the video, I was pretty disappointed, because Nella is like, you know, Nella, I love Nella, if you know me, you know I love Nella. But then I watched the video and I realized it was when she was 12 and 13. Then I went back and she was saying how it was coming from a place of hatred, and I understood where she was coming from. Yes, they were wrong, those tweets that she made. Yes, like someone who's probably now like I'm probably after her, because I know it was way worse when they were younger, people of that generation. I know the racism, the colorism was way worse, but yeah, maybe it was a bit easier for people who were coming after her to not have like, you know, so they haven't ever probably tweeted those kind of things or said those kind of things. I know I definitely did not like the fact that I was African, did not like the fact that I had 4C, very 4C, coily, kinky hair. I did not like that. I did not like them when I was younger, and I'm gonna come and admit that. And that's what Nella did. She said it came from a place of hatred because she was bullied so much into thinking those features were not nice. I didn't like my big lips. I was like, I wish I had I wish I had the skinny lips. But it's because we were so brainwashed into thinking that our features are not beautiful. But when it's way different from that, because you see people are trying to get these big lips now. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, Nella was basically just saying it did come from a place of like she'd been bullied so much, and then she was just anger. She projected that onto the world. Not saying I hate it when people justify their wrongdoings with, you know, I was hurt or someone hurt me, so I decided to do the same. But Nella was just basically explaining her situation in like the mindset that she was in, which I definitely understand. Because if you've been so conditioned into thinking that you yourself are not beautiful, you yourself, your features are not beautiful, you're obviously gonna continue, you know, projecting that. That's how you basically, someone who projects hatred is how they feel within themselves. It's insecurities within themselves. So to all my black girls, to all my beautiful black girls, those big lips, they're beautiful. That melanin in your skin, no matter how much you have, whether you have a small bit or whether you have loads of it, trust me, it's beautiful. The darker the berry, the sweet the juice, so don't you worry, loves. And yeah, so I definitely say to my black girls out there, just stick to stuff that's gonna keep you, like, that's gonna uplift you. Stick to your black role models, to your queens. Stick to that. Don't listen to all these other people just saying nonsense in your ear, because more time they're just insecure about themselves and they're just projecting it, and they're jealous of your glow. Yeah, they're jealous of your beautiful glow, girls. So yeah, that I know I kind of like, I don't want this video to be too long, so I didn't address like a lot of this other stuff that happened to me growing up as a black girl, like more personal stuff. So I'll probably make like a part 2. But yeah, hope you guys have had a good day, and I'll see you in my next video.